Hello there, my name's Erik and I'm the developer of ShantyTown, a game where you place objects one at a time to build calm environments while soaking in the vibe. The game comes out on April 16th this year, but there's actually a demo you can try out right now. The purpose of ShantyTown is to be able to explore how organically developing urban environments grow over time. You place objects in the best location you can. Then, as more objects come out, you have to find little corners to put other objects in, or start stacking vertically. And you can build all this with just a keyboard and mouse. But what if you don't have a keyboard and mouse? Or perhaps your tool of choice is a controller, Steam Deck, or even something like the 2003 Nintendo Bongos. Well, I don't want to get in the way of that, so I had to go down the path of adding controller support into the game. So let me explain what went wrong. My mom taught me two things as I was growing up. Don't eat cheese before a date, and don't wait until the last minute to start your controller support. Unfortunately, I didn't listen to either piece of advice.
How much cheese have you eaten today?
How much cheese is too much cheese?
Any amount of cheese.
In Gamedev, well, most things really, you can categorize all the stuff you have to do into two categories: how important they are and how urgent they are. Some things get done quickly and easily because they're both important and urgent, and you can immediately see progress, and it's great. Some things get done simply because they're urgent. Some things can be ignored because nobody will notice. But it's these things in this category that is important but not urgent that you have to watch out for. These things often pile up and create a massive to-do list if you're not careful. And that's how, after 3 years of working on this game, I finally found myself working on controller support. I'm not a console kid really. I did have an Xbox 360 back in the early 2000s, which was an incredible time. Halo 2, Need for Speed Underground, Tony Hawk, Morrowind, wow, take me back. But since then, I haven't much touched a controller, so I was actually pretty confused about most things. When working on controller support, I found there are two areas that need separate work: gameplay and UI. Gameplay was actually pretty straightforward. I just had to make pressing different thumbsticks move and rotate the camera. I made it so the triggers zoom in and out, and a click and move combo to move vertically. Not bad. Well, what about these buttons down here? How would you press those on a controller? Well, I did some searching around and came up with a solution that every other game does, which is the selection wheel. I created a material that has an inner section for the direction you're pushing on the thumbstick, and then an outer ring with a highlight section. Then I populated it with whatever objects are shown down below. I had to do some light trigonometry to figure out which object is being highlighted based on the rotation of the thumbstick, and voila! It actually works pretty well. Of course, I had to add some other functionality with upgrade rewards, but overall, it works and I'm pretty happy with it. The wheel even dynamically changes even when you have more than 4 items. This did take a little time to figure out. Then, I used the same system to create another wheel for the photo mode options. And finally moved on to creative mode. But with 8 categories and over 150 objects in the game, there's no reasonable way to have them all on a wheel, or even multiple wheels. I was a bit stumped on what to do next, so I decided to do something a bit more archaic. And instead of opening a wheel, it just highlights one category, and from there, you can choose an item by cycling through the list.
That's easy!
But what do you think? You think that's gonna work? If you have a controller and you want to try it out for yourself, please do. There's a link to the demo right down there below the like button. Honestly, at this point, I thought the hard part was done, but I was wrong. To separate the controller jocks from the keyboard nerds, I created a function that fires whenever any key is pressed. It checks if the key that was just pressed was a keyboard or a gamepad key. Yeah, it's called a gamepad in Engine because a controller is something that controls the player. Anyways, function checks if that key that you pressed is the same type as the current UI mode. If it's not, then it changes everything to be in the new mode. This is really great. You can add and remove UI prompts, change commands, and alter the UI if you really need to. If you're developing controller support for your game, I would start right here. As for the rest of it, I thought that UI navigation would pretty much work on its own, but I was very, very wrong. But what do I mean by this? I mean, when you're focused on this button and you press the controller downwards, surely the focus switches to the next button. Great, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it goes to the wrong button, or it just disappears. Or maybe it works one way, but not the other. And when you have custom UI like my map, an unusual dossier layout, or other weirdly set up screens, it breaks. Frequently. No problem, Unreal Engine thought about that. Here you can control the flow of things, so when you press a specific button, it goes to the next button. Great! But it doesn't always work. When you close and reopen the editor, it's all gone. Sometimes. So if anybody knows why this is happening, please call me on my cellular telephone and let me know. In the meantime, I'll have to create a workaround. There really was a lot more that went into this, like reorganizing the settings, creating new tutorials, doing some arcane rituals to make sure it all works, setting up buttons that look like they're pressing other buttons, and other things. But I'll spare you the hardship of a man complaining about his job and hobby. And instead, let's enjoy the results. So please, try out the demo and see how it feels. Dust off your controller of choice and let me know if it works. Or maybe it doesn't work, maybe it's unclear, maybe things break, or it all goes well. Either way, let me know, I'd love to hear about it. As I said before, I'm not a controller person, so you may be the expert here, and I need your help. If you feel up for it, please crack open the demo and try it out. But it is really cool to see my game on Steam Deck. So was it worth it? I think so. The fun doesn't stop here though. I still have to do certification or verification for Steam Deck or consoles. But I've learned my lesson, and that should be pretty easy. Right?
I heard a rumor that you're an idiot. Any truth to that?
I think that's enough for now, but thank you for watching. Bye bye.